with Barack Obama, and we have a question here. Mr. President.
Yes. Mr. President, my name is Joe San Giorgio. I'm a senior at George Washington University, and my question is about Social Security. The Congressional Budget Office projects that Social Security could go into the red as early as 2018, and it seems to me there are only three options if we want to fix it: raise the retirement age, raise payroll taxes, or reduce benefits. I know in the past you've said that all options are on the table, but do you have a limit for what would be acceptable changes for each of those three things?
Well, first of all, let me just say something about these projections. According to the Congressional Budget Office, what will happen is around 2018, we'll start taking in less money than we're sending out. So right now, Social Security generally runs a surplus. That surplus will start getting drained around 2018. Now, that doesn't mean that Social Security is going bankrupt. It doesn't mean that Social Security is going away. What it does mean is if we don't do anything about it, right around the time, you guys are a little young for you to retire, but let's say when I'm retired, what's going to end up happening is that if you expected $1 of benefits, you'll only get about 75 cents. So people won't get the full bargain that they thought they were getting when they paid into Social Security. That's why we've got to strengthen it. And I have said that all options are on the table. I think we've got to look at how we preserve it for the next generation. I do think that that the best way to do it would be to look at the fact that right now you only pay Social Security taxes up to about $106,000. And after that, you don't pay any Social Security tax. So that means Warren Buffett, who makes more than $100,000 a year, the vast bulk of his income, he doesn't pay Social Security taxes on it. That could be modified or changed in a way that would help extend the solvency of Social Security. But this is an area where, I'm sorry, what was the young lady from Austin? This is where Cynthia's point about bipartisanship is so important. I set up a bipartisan fiscal commission that is made up of Republicans and Democrats to sit and meet over the last several months to start looking at how we generally start reducing our debt and our deficit so we're not leaving it to the next generation. They're supposed to report back to me after the election because we specifically designed it so they wouldn't get caught up with silly season and would be able to just focus on what makes sense. They're going to provide that report to us around the 1st of December, and my hope is from there that we can get a Republican-Democratic agreement on how we strengthen Social Security, as well as looking at some of these other major expenditures that we've got to deal with to make sure that we're not just leaving you guys with a mountain of debt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to talk to you for a moment about the Tea Party. We have the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, who said, quote, the Tea Party is astroturf, a false grassroots movement that has bankrolled by the wealthy conservatives. I want to know if you agree with that assertion, or do you believe the young people here today should say that the Tea Party is legitimate and be looking to participate in the fall with them?
Well, look, this is a democracy, so political participation generally is legitimate. I want to encourage people to get involved. That's point number one. Point number two is I think there are a lot of people who are involved in the Tea Party who have very real and sincere concerns about spending that's out of control, or generally philosophically believe that the government should be less involved in certain aspects of American life rather than more involved. And they have every right and obligation as citizens to be involved and engaged in this process. I do think that what has happened is layered on top of some of that general frustration that has expressed itself through the Tea Party. There is an awful lot of corporate money that's pouring into these elections right now. I mean, you've got tens of millions of dollars in what are called third-party expenditures that are being spent basically on negative ads. I mean, about 86–90% of them are negative ads, and you guys have probably seen them more than I do because I don't watch that much TV. But if you're in a battleground state right now, you are being bombarded with negative ads every single day, and nobody knows who's paying for these ads. They've got these names like Americans for Prosperity, or Moms for Motherhood, or actually that last one I made up, but But you have these innocuous sounding names, and we don't know where this money is coming from. I think that is a problem for our democracy. And it's a direct result of a Supreme Court decision that said they didn't have to disclose who their donors are. And so you don't know if is an oil company that is unhappy about some environmental rules that we put in place funding these? Are the insurance companies that aren't happy about some of the restrictions we place on insurance companies being able to drop your coverage, are they paying for them? We don't know that, and I think it's important for us to make sure that disclosure is available so that you guys can make your own decisions about if you see an ad, you know who's paying for it, and you can make your own judgments about whether it's true or not.